Hey everyone. Last week I spoke about the book Nurture the Wow, and it's kind of a philosophical or theological book on why I write about fatherhood, why I spend my time thinking about fatherhood. But I know a lot of you just need some tips. You're in the nitty gritty, and if you need something, a book that will give you the tips to get you through the day, I recommend How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk. For me, I remember when I read this book, and again, I was in the throes of having a toddler meltdown. And one of the suggestions was to have your child draw their feelings out. Now, I had a toddler, so obviously he wasn't going to draw like an angry face or something. So he put scribbles down on the piece of paper. And the book suggests asking what those scribbles look like. So asking some questions, and it told me to be confident in asking the questions because the kids will actually correct you when you're wrong. And that's a really important takeaway because a lot of that adjusts your posture. So a lot of times when you're engaging with your kids around their art or something like that, you're trying to guess the right answer. And if you guess the wrong answer, you're worried they're going to be disappointed. For this one, guessing the wrong answer was actually helpful for me. So I remember reading this, and then maybe 2 days later, my son was throwing a temper tantrum about something. It was early in the morning. We were exhausted. And I just happened to have a clipboard, a piece of paper, and a pen right there, and I asked him to draw his feelings out. And of course, I guessed wrong on like half the things. But what changed was he felt heard. It's that listen so kids will talk aspect. And what made him feel heard was not the tip or the trick of coloring down the feelings, though that did help kind of get it out of him. What really helped him was the fact that I listened to him. So it wasn't necessarily a change, a tip or trick or tactic, but it was a change in my own posture. And if you remember last week where we were talking about fatherhood and spirituality and faith and stuff like that, a lot of that is kind of upstream of what you do with your kids or to your kids. Rather, it's what you do for yourself. It's what you do inside. And so this book, How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk, is a great book for changing yourself. And it gives you some tips and tricks to help you get into the right posture along the way. As great as any tip or trick will work, your kids will outgrow it. What they don't outgrow necessarily is your posture as you're listening to them, as you're engaging them. When you can maintain that posture throughout different seasons of life, that's how you end up connecting with your kids. But a lot of times you're in the thick of it and you just need something that works. So maybe you need your kid to draw out their feelings so that you can have a conversation with them, and be confident that they will correct you, because that's part of the fun of it, actually, is they get to learn and engage and work through their own feelings. But if you're just looking for a quick tip or trick, this is the book to go with. It has a whole host of guides in there and on all sorts of things. It's a book that is meant to be picked up and read when you're in those hard seasons of like, I don't know what to do here. This book may have the tip or trick that helps you change your posture that will ultimately unlock deeper conversations later and longer in life. And that's really the ultimate goal of fatherhood, is not to necessarily win just a battle or to be right. It's to build a relationship with your kid. And so I recommend this book if you want the more philosophical, theological book. The book I talked about last week is called Nurture the Wow by Rabbi Daniel Rutenberg. This one, How to Talk So Kids Will Listen, Listen So Kids Will Talk. It's by Adele Faber and Elaine Maslish. And it's fabulous. I recommend it to anyone who has kids, because it doesn't really matter how big your kids get. Learning to listen to them will help you. especially perhaps as I enter into these teenage years. It's probably a book that I'm going to pick up again and read anew as I enter into a different challenging set of years. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to it now, having made this video to reread this book. So if you need a tip, a trick, something to help you get over the hump, this book is my favorite for that. So thank you. Next week we'll get back to writing and things like that. So, but if you like these videos, these book videos, I have shelves full of books about here. So let me know what else you'd like to learn or hear about in the comments, and I'll bring them up and I'll bring them up as we go through the rest of the year. So thank you.